Hello there and welcome back to the channel where today we have the strategy game news for this month. It has got a lot of little stories in it, new games, upcoming games, and previously released games. So let's get into it. First up we have Port Royale 4. Port Royale 4 is an upcoming strategy simulation game. It focuses on the fight for supremacy between Spain, England, France, and the Netherlands in their fight for the 17th century Caribbean. It's the sequel to the previous Port Royale 3. And 2 and 1, but 3 was the last game. In your position of a governor of your own colony settlement there in the Caribbean, you'll have to grow both your settlement and your trading establishment in order to bring jobs and prosperity to your little old Caribbean colony. Port Royale 4 will follow the same themes as past iterations. However, it introduces what they call turn-based naval battles, with up to 8 ships battling each other at once from both sides of the equation. If you want to see more of Port Royale, I personally sat down with the developers to take a look at what's to come with the game in the near future, and the beta for Port Royale 4 is out right now, which you can also find gameplay of in the channel. Next up, we have the recent release of a game called Before We Leave, developed by Balancing Monkey Games, which is a very, very interesting studio name indeed. Before We Leave is a violence-free city-building game, akin, I might say, to Polyuniverse from, well, way back, except it's much higher quality, much more feature-rich, and, well, a better game overall. It places you as building a civilization on a newfound planet. As you expand your civilization on your new home planet, you'll find there was a reason it was previously left empty. Having to fend off disasters and catastrophes to save your people from demise will be important, because you don't want them to die. Good management of your people and your resources will assist with this task. With no violence, Before We Leave has to find another way to scare you and your people. This is done through what they call space whales. These planet creatures lie in wait of your failures to, well, eat your whole entire planet, essentially. How lovely is that? To buy the game, you can head to the Epic Games Store, where it is listed for $15.99. In the UK, I don't know. I can't do mathematical conversion. Come on, guys. Circle Empires released in August of 2018 to very positive reviews from thousands of happy players, with a total of about 300,000 players, if I'm correct, in total buying the game. Building on top of this success, the developers have released a sequel to Circle Empires with Circle Empires Rivals. Circle Empires Rivals includes brand new content, of course, with new game modes, new biomes, new units and buildings, 30 new faction leaders in the game, and a huge range of new difficulty options and modifiers. And after much demand from the original game, Circle Empire Rivals will bring with it a multiplayer mode so that you and your friends can battle it out together, which is especially interesting when we're all locked in tight, I guess. If you didn't know or haven't heard of Circle Empires, and what it's about, then here you are. Circle Empires is a real-time strategy game where you are a godlike leader of a tiny circular kingdom. Hungry for power? You use your skills and your kingdom to hunt down and kill many more godlike leaders such as yourself to increase the amount of power and influence you have. That's about it, really. You basically get rid of your enemies, you become more of a god, and you rule over the world. How amazing is that? Plutocracy is a strategy simulation game with a deep focus on business, the economy, and its interaction with the political system in the 1870s. As you build out your empire, you'll be able to influence the economic footprint of the companies around you, having effects on prices, GDP, unemployment, and much more. You can choose to build up your company as a reputable, clean company with good working conditions, pay, and high-quality products, or you can try to save money by paying your workers less, giving them bad conditions to work in, and refusing their ever-growing demands. This could lead to riots and strikes where you can either fold to their demands or force them back to work. Plutocracy hosts a wave of gameplay mechanics which are all simulated, such as financial markets, detailed industrial competition, religion and federal politics, corruption, lobbying, and much, much more, with the game including over 15,000 characters such as shareholders, officials, politicians, and much, much more. This is a game with near infinite possibility for anyone interested in business simulation games. However, it's still being updated, and a couple people are a little miffed with how buggy it is and how incomplete it may be at this point, so keep that in mind. Next, we have a recent release with Miners Mettle. Miners Mettle is an artillery-based real-time strategy game based on an isolated and lawless mining planet. On this little planet, there are 4 factions fighting for supremacy over the little but valuable mining planet. And amongst the fighting, you've got to survey the terrain for mineral deposits, which you'll have to extract at the same time and take back to your little wee planetary base. The more minerals you find, the better you can equip your operation to defend, attack, and mine. You'll have to upgrade your buildings, you'll have to upgrade your research operations. You can then upgrade your mining operations, your defense and attack capabilities, and much, much more. Miners Mettle currently sits with mixed reviews on Steam after its recent release, with many highlighting its good visuals and engaging and promising gameplay, but being unhappy with the substantial amount of bugs present in the game. So, if you're wanting to buy the game or want to know more about it, I would consider checking out those reviews and seeing what everyone else says about it, and not going in with many high hopes. Next, we have an upcoming release with the Grand Heist. The Grand Heist is a casual strategy game, placing you as a member of a team of thieves in the 1930s. The game features a series of action-packed missions in which you have to, well, steal, essentially. However, you will have to ensure you don't get caught in the act of thievery. You'll have to think fast to hide from the guards in whatever space or object you can find. You can even try disguises if that floats your boat. If all else fails, you can try brute force, knocking out guards before they raise an alarm. And speaking of alarms, you'll have to watch out for all those newfangled designed alarm systems, as well as the guards that patrol the area. But you can't leave evidence of your force. Disposing of bodies quietly will be essential to prevent other guards finding you before you're done with your thievery. There is no current release date for the game, but if you want, you can follow along on Steam. Next, we have Starmancer. In Starmancer, you take the role of a powerful AI to build a bustling little space station, with numerous threats and numerous issues to sort out. From colony survival to base defense, Starmancer will keep you busy. Food and water supplies will need to be sorted. Oh, and oxygen too. Keeping your colonists alive and socially satisfied will be key if you want to get them to work for you and work efficiently and effectively with no thought of rebellion whatsoever. That's obviously a possibility. Rebellion, that's why I mentioned it. If you don't do what they want you to do, they might try and take over the whole station. Starmancer includes a multitude of buildings, from bedrooms to kitchens to farms to secret laboratories, and much, much more for you to build and design, each with the numerous points of customization and control to add a personal touch to your little floating station. Starmancer is based in an ever-evolving solar system with resources aplenty, but dangers lurking around every corner. You'll have to rely on trade ships for profit and live in fear of pirate ships coming to steal, pillage, and damage your ship. Starmancer was successfully funded on Kickstarter last year and even mentioned in the PC Gaming Conference at E3, and can currently be pre-ordered if you wish via their website online. Next up, we have what seems to be a strategic city-building game with Advancity, which I really do hope I'm pronouncing correctly. Advancity includes your normal city-building mechanics, allowing you to build homes for your citizens and ensure you provide your growing population with the services they require to survive. As you evolve, you'll want to build machines to mine materials and workplaces such as smelters to process these raw resources into a more worthwhile product. As your output grows, you can assign scientists to research a growing list of new technological advancements to improve your industries and your citizens. However, as your settlement grows, enemies will want to steal your success. In order to protect your newly established empire, you will need to hire and train soldiers to fend off these enemies or to attack new lands that you yourself wish to conquer. There appears to be a fair amount of stuff to do in Advancity. Here's hoping that it is an enjoyable game. This past month, we had a beta for the upcoming game Mars Horizon. Mars Horizon is a simulation strategy game tasking you with leading a major space agency guiding humanity towards the planet of Mars. You'll have to create a base for launching rockets, researching new technologies, and training your astronauts with the ability to build and develop new rockets for launching not only people, but satellites and science projects into space as well. These will be required to fund your space agency and its Mars goals. Think of SpaceX in real life, I guess. The game will feature an expansive tech tree for research and allow you to choose from up to 5 space agencies when starting out. The beta itself included 14 milestone missions out of a possible 36, 3 playable space agencies, dozens of rocket parts, upgrades, payloads, and multiple buildings for construction in-game. Totaling around 8 hours of new gameplay from the game itself. So, if you want to find out more and watch gameplay from Mars Horizon's beta, you can follow any links in the description. I played the Mars Horizon beta, but it won't be, the video, won't be out when you see this video, because I'm horrible at scheduling. Next up, we have a very popular upcoming game with Humankind. Humankind is a turn-based strategy game similar to the Civilizations series of games where you'll have to create your own civilization by combining historical cultures from ancient times to the modern age. Beginning in ancient times, you can choose to evolve into different cultures from past history as you grow and adapt through time. As you progress through the game, you will gather what they call fame, accumulated from every victory and everything good and moral you manage to complete. Throughout all of this, however, you'll face historical events in science and in war as you evolve your people to fight and prevent their everlasting destruction. Humankind is sledged for release at some point in 2020. Next up, we have Industries of Titan. For those unaware, Industries of Titan is a strategy simulation game focusing on building a sprawling industrial superhub on the planet Titan. In Industries of Titan, you will have to compete with corporations from around the galaxy. Nope. Solar system. It's a solar system, not a galaxy, for the resources within the planet Titan. To keep your territory, you'll have to turn a village into a continually developing metropolis, settling up factories and production lines to take mined resources from the planet and transform them into a profitable business endeavor. As your empire grows, others will attempt to take what you've built. To prevent them from succeeding, you'll have to build and design your very own battleships and city defenses to ward off these enemies from space. All in all, Industries of Titan, with the recent new gameplay from its recent release, is an astonishing little game, and you can find it as it has released recently on the Epic Games Store exclusively, sadly. It will not come to Steam until next year. For all of you waiting until next year, there's actually a lot of you. I saw a lot of people commenting saying they are not going to buy it from Epic Games, which I found kind of harsh. In March, amongst many other things, we recently had the release of the free-to-play demo of Builders of Egypt, and because strategy building news took so long to make, this is a bit dated. Builders of Egypt Prologue was that demo that we received, and Builders of Egypt is an economic strategy city-building game where you are tasked with building up an urban empire from the Egyptian dust. Ensuring you design an efficient city is key. However, as your city grows, you will have to streamline your diplomacy and ensure your citizens support your political decisions. If you fail to manage these turbulent issues, you may end up in the midst of an outright civil war. Alongside this, ensuring you build up an efficient resource production system is key. Without this, your trade output will be greatly diminished, heavily affecting your city's ability to grow. Many people downloaded this. Of course, it was free. They gave me a key, which was a bit weird if it's a free game, but many people enjoyed it alongside myself and are now hyped for the full release of the game. Finally, we have Sumerians. Sumerians is a city-building strategy game set in ancient Mesopotamia. For those unaware, Mesopotamia is a historical region of Western Asia. In today's terms, it spanned across many areas of Iraq, Turkey, Syria, and Kuwait? Kuwait? I'm probably murdering that. Anyway, Sumerians is a game about building a city in the great ancient time of urban growth and development. Starting with a small settlement, you'll need to build up food and water supply lines while ensuring you have homes for your ever-growing population. As you expand, you'll need to build walls to protect your city while building temples to attract new inhabitants. As you expand your production lines, you can provide your citizens with a growing standard of living, ensuring their happiness is increasing and their output will increase with it. Building a vast and successful ancient civilization as you grow. In my opinion, this looks like it could be an awesome little game, and it's definitely going to be interesting given it follows that ancient Mesopotamian kind of style there. And that is the strategy news for this month. If you have anything you'd like to add to the news that I may have missed, or you just want to join the discussion around the video, you can go to the comment section or go to the Discord server, which is also in the description. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.